Tito here with Aloha Android, and I don't know if there is a specific date, but for today, I want to take today as the day for Developer Appreciation Day and to say to all the developers on XDA, Android forums, XDX developers, everywhere there is a developer for Android, you guys are awesome. You gals are awesome because there are guy and girl developers out there. It's not just guys. Um, from the big to the small, from the person who can crack every phone and root it to the person who just builds some really badass wallpapers. You guys are awesome, and I think everyone should take a moment to appreciate your work because there's not a lot of it. I mean, yes, there are people out there who really show and express their appreciations for everything that a developer will do for their particular model phone, but at the end of the day, these guys really don't get much, except for maybe a couple of thumbs up emojis in the comments, maybe a like or two here and there, and maybe a follow on their social networks, but that's really about it. Which brings me to the point of my rant today. But before I get into that, just, again, all the developers, big thumbs up. Bravo. Thank you guys so much for what you do. I myself, and we appreciate you. So the point of this rant has to do with people and impatience. I guess you guys can say that, as well as just flat out being rude to developers. Because I like to read, XDA forums, Android forums. I like to go on there and read, and not just about the devices that I currently own, but other devices, just to see where developers are going. Because you really have to appreciate all the devs out there. And believe me, there are some devs that will surprise you that are probably only 15 years old and can really build a badass custom ROM. So, you really got to show appreciation for them. And so I like to see what they're coming out with, the things that they're able to do. Because every time, if you look at how custom ROMs were 5 years ago and you look at them right now, they are so enriched in features and just ideas have been brought out into making the experience with an Android device, which is already good, even better, which is the best. There's always room for improvement with Android. There's one thing that I love about the operating systems. There's always room for improvement. It's never just at its final point. I don't even think Android has a final point. As the years goes by, it just gets better and better and better. So when I read, the forums and I read the posts and see how people are, there's always maybe 3 or 4, sometimes 5 people that are posting in there that are just so impatient. They expect things done on a fly. They just really come into the forum, start commenting, and they just have this chip on their shoulder where it's it's almost expected, if they bark, they expect the developers to to jump, and do as they say. And it really, to me, that's ass backwards. Because when you're doing that, if you are one of those people that's doing that, you guys really should stop, because you guys gotta understand, these developers, they do it solely based on their interest in it. There's no one that hands them a check every 2 weeks and says, "Great job for that ROM. Great job for your porting Resurrection Remix to this phone." No one does that. These guys, the gratification they get is when people download, install their ROMs, and they see that comment that says, "It works. Thanks so much," or "Thanks a billion," or "You rock," or "You're awesome." That's the only payment they get. And trust me, while they are humble because they're not out there asking for money. I mean, some do. They have their reasons why, but some of them do. But not every one of the developers do that, and these guys can't pay their rent on the slip that says "You're awesome." They can't put gas in their car to go to work with comments that say "You rock." So, for those people who act like these developers owe them something, you're in the wrong set of mind. You really are, and it is costing it for everybody else. A couple of months ago, I did a rant about how deving and custom ROMs and stuff is just slowly diminishing over some time. And I could be wrong, but the way that I look at it is I feel that a lot of developers have pulled out from the game. They just stopped developing for any Android device, and I think it's mostly because they get sick and tired of people instant messaging them, not following their instructions, doing something completely outside of it, and bricking their phone, and then expecting these developers, to come in and have to fix their phone. Or if the phone's unfixable, they go and they put the blame on them. And that's totally wrong. That's why, in a lot of the forums, it always says in big, bold, typing, is that if you do this, and I like the way how the developers actually put that together, because it does make you laugh too. But they'll put something like, if you they're not responsible if your phone acts buggy, gets laggy, bricks. If if you owe more on your taxes this year, if a grenade goes off in your house, like they put some weird stuff like that. But the blanket statement in there that they're not responsible if your phone acts buggy, if it gets laggy, if it bricks. Like they got to put that, because so many people come at them with this whole mentality of like, I followed your step-by-step guide and I skipped this part because I felt like I didn't need to do it, and now my phone's not working and it's your fault. Like people really do act like that towards developers, and I think that's totally wrong. Like, get out that mind frame. It's not the developer's fault if you didn't follow their instructions properly, and even if you did follow their instructions properly, doesn't mean the end result is always going to be the same. I can contest to this. Okay, my G Stylo, it bricked, but that's out of the phone itself. It's not the developer's fault. I did everything I was supposed to do according to the developer's instructions, but my phone came out the way it did. It's not anyone's fault. Shit happens. Get used to it when you modify your phone. But there are people who blame developers for that, and then there's also these people who expect developers to have things done right away. Like, oh, brand new phone came out 1 week ago. You have to have root for it. Just by one developer going in and taking an interest on a new device that's maybe a week old, and like there's a bunch of people just fly in there on a developer like, oh, you need to make a root for this, yada yada yada, do this, do that, find an exploit, da 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 da. 1 week later, it's been a week, man. Where's the root? Like, get off your high horse and look at what these guys do. They like I said in the beginning of this video, they solely do this based on their interest. They're not paid to do this, and our wonderful comments does not pay any of their bills, so we shouldn't even be demanding them for anything on top of that. And I feel like because there are people who do this, that is the reason why development has slowed down. We are losing awesome developers. They're losing interest, because who wants to sit at a computer, log in to XDA developer's website to check your inbox and see a bunch of people just expecting. But when these developers actually put it out there, like say, if they put it out there like, oh, I can't develop for the Aquos Crystal no more because I don't have that device, because the device is totally bricked, I can't save it. People are like, oh, da 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 da, we'll wait for you to freaking buy a new one. Like, why wait? Honestly, if you guys want root so bad, start donating some of your money so that developer can go and buy another Aquos Crystal and continue where he left off in his, developing for that device. Like, there's just too much expectations and too much demands out of these developers. It's killing development, which is why we don't see a lot like we used to see. Like, 3.5, 4 years ago, there was tons of development for just about every Android device that was out there. And yes, we can blame a lot to locked bootloaders and stuff like that, but let's just get real for a second, because I honestly believe developers are that smart to bypass a locked bootloader. I mean, there's already a developer for the Aquos Crystal that has successfully put on CM12 on the Aquos Crystal, with the Aquos Crystal having a locked bootloader and 2 write protection on the device. So to defeat that, you'd have to unlock the bootloader. You'd have to defeat write protection twice, because it's in 2 areas of system files. You'd have to defeat that just to even, begin trying to push a custom recovery root for the device and then installing a custom ROM. But it can be done. And if someone can do it, that obviously means that these developers are just not interested in working their asses off to do it anymore, because we're too demanding and we're too pushing. So I gotta say to people out there who are pushing and demanding, stop it. Understand that if a new device comes out, if it's not flagship, it's not going to have a whole team of developers all over it. Flagships attract more developers to it for the simple fact that more people are going to buy the flagships because that's what they see on TV. Galaxy S6, must buy it. G4, must buy it. HTC One M9, must buy it. Okay, but you don't really see them going and saying ZTE Warp Elite, must buy it. You don't see it on TV. It's not a flagship. So more developers will flock to the flagships because they figure more people are going to have it. And if the more people have it, then yes, Development and stuff like that, it'll be groovy because they can get to work with other developers and defeat, certain things that stand in the way of making the device even better. But when a new device comes out, whether it's a budget device, flagship device, you've got to give these developers time to even figure. It's new to them too, just like it's new to you. It's not like developers get these devices a year earlier and can begin developing and spring up custom ROMs out of the yin yang for everybody. Like, no, these things take time. And if you really want to know what it's like to build a custom ROM, learn. And then you'll see exactly how much stress these guys go through trying to get a good working ROM out there. Because there are little things that if it's not set right, you can lose audio. You can have a bug in visual. You can have bug in texting. You can have you know what I'm saying. There's so much things that can go wrong. These guys have to make sure that every little checks and balances are done right before they're releasing a ROM, so they don't get the backlash of 10,000 people saying that your ROM was crap. So all I'm saying is to all the developers out there, like, I understand the stress you guys go through, and I want to say thank you so much. And even if you stop developing for Android, you guys are still awesome, even in the long run, for doing what you've done so far and what you will do in the future if you continue to develop thereon. For those people who are pushing and demanding, stop it. Okay, go get a Whopper and a Coke and smile. And for everyone else who appreciates, let them know in the comment section of this video. Add on for whatever you guys want to share story-wise. Let me know who your favorite developer is and why. And that's it for this video. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's about 12 minutes long. And yeah, share on social networks so get the word out. Appreciate developers all around the world. Thank you guys for watching this one. My name is Tito with Aloha Android. And as always, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great day. Bye.